When you walk into a room and people stare, you have an audience. Give them what they came for. Let me be the one to say, be. If you do it your way, no one can take it from you.
What's good, everybody? This your boy Sliz, the People's Champ, checking in, and this is This One For Us podcast, brought to you by Ari Productions. Listen, headshots, any business branding that you need, hit them up. They got you. Black owned, Women's History Month, shout out to them. But listen, I got some dope women here today. This is going to be a different type of episode because I'm stepping out my comfort zone, and I'm pretty sure they will too. And first things first, I'm going to let them explain who they are and explain what they do. Let's start with Valencia.
Hi, I'm Valencia Rain. I brew my own wine for a living. I'm an artist. I own a clothing line, and I do a lot in the city, so that's what I do.
You brew your own wine?
Yes.
What kind of wine do you like? Merlot?
I brew sweet wines. I really don't like to do dry wines. Nobody really likes dry wines all like that, but...
Okay, I just learned something today. Yeah.
Hi, I am Kristen Jackson. I am the founder and CEO of She Drives Rideshare. We are a women-owned and operated rideshare company, and we drive women and children.
Like, for the person like me who really doesn't know what a rideshare company is, can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so rideshare is it's like a Uber or Lyft type of situation. Okay. So we are just like the safer alternative to Uber and Lyft for women and children.
Oh, that's dope. Okay, we need more like that. That's dope.
I'm Tanisha English Amamu. I'm the founder and chief marketing officer of TJE Communications, and I'm also the founder of Black Women in Biz.
Awesome. So tell us more about Black Women in Biz. What more? Let's get into depth in that.
Black Women in Biz is a sisterhood of Black women business owners, and our goal is to celebrate and uplift one another. We also have a digital community where we share resources, job opportunities, and courses. And I also have two of my board members here with me.
Hi, my name is Isana Sebastian. I own Girlball C-Bus. I am a content creator, and I basically share stories for women-owned businesses, women in power, women of greatness, and I help create brand awareness and make sure their voices and stories are heard and shared. And I'm also a wedding content creator.
Oh, dope.
So yeah.
Okay. How about you?
Yeah, so I'm Jay Nicole Turner. Outside of my personal life, I'm a student at GCU studying social work. The goal is to get my master's, so.
That's what's up.
With that, I have a nonprofit, Ellison, where we educate, advocate, and serve those who have lived experience within the foster care system. I also have Abiding Here Coaching and Consulting Co., where we do Christian life coaching and self-care consulting.
All right. Okay. So now that, we introduced you all, let me ask you all this question. Anybody can start. Do you guys work more now that you have a business or when you had a regular job?
I definitely work more now as an entrepreneur. I don't really have like a work-life balance. Like if you probably see me, I'll probably send an email at 11 p.m. to schedule it for the morning. So yeah, definitely working a good 80 hours a week some days or less than that. It really just depends on the week, but definitely way more than 40 hours a week for sure.
I would say for me in the beginning, I worked more, but it was super unhealthy. Yeah. I gained a ton of weight. I have high blood pressure, anxiety, stress, all that.
Join the club.
So now I have a virtual assistant. So I've been practicing delegating and trying to pull things off my plate. So my goal is to work like 30-ish hours a week. So far, so good. It took a lot of work and coaching from my business coach as well to get me to that point. But definitely in the beginning, when you're trying to get something off the ground, I was working a lot. So weekends, everything.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it was with me too. When I started Ellison, I built the nonprofit from ground up. So I was always focused on that, focusing on networking, community, learning the foundation of nonprofit and business, like what is it, that I need to do more of. So it just always required my attention, my time, dedication. Now, like 6 years in, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to reel it in and find some time for myself and my family.
I like the fact that she brought up networking because people don't realize being a business owner, there are so much more layers to just working in the business. Networking is one. Just meeting different people, kind of build your community of friends and business owners so that way, make things easier. Definitely, I work way more than when, because I come from the hospital world. And believe it or not, I worked way more for myself than I did at the hospital, even though it was really busy. So still trying to find that work-life balance. I'm not quite there yet. I get yelled at by my business coach all the time. So just trying to constantly grow and get better. But right now I'm working 7 days a week, and that's in the field. Like I'm driving 7 days a week. So
yeah, I would definitely say for me more. I'm starting to learn how to delegate stuff to people. But it's like when I want something done right away, I just end up doing it myself. And, sometimes when you try to get people together and they say like, oh, I can't do this or I could do that, and they don't come through on time or just things happen, life happens. But I'm just working by myself right now. And I think it's important to really have mentorship in your life, because I have a really good mentor and he educates me a lot on a business aspect of things that I'm trying to do. So I think that's very important to implement in your life, is to really get a good mentor.
Okay. At what point in time y'all was just like, hey, I'm done with this regular job? Like, what was y'all's moment where y'all just like, I'm out of here, I'm about to start doing this on your own?
I can go for that. I've never kept for a job for more than a year. Like, jobs are just not for me. Like, I've never working a 9 to 5. And my mom, she always implemented business morals in us growing up in entrepreneurship. So I say I take a lot of my hustle from her. And I don't like it, not having the freedom of, you gotta, when you work in a 9 to 5, you gotta put in your 2 weeks if you want to go on vacation. You have to apply by their rules, and it's just not for me. I'd rather work long and hard for myself than to do it for somebody else. And then you're only just building up their companies when you can be doing it yourself.
Yeah. I would agree with what she said, honestly, because I am a college dropout. I got into the entrepreneur world at 20 years old. So I knew it was if I wasn't going to go to school, I had to figure it out. Right. So that's basically if I'm not going to go to school and graduate, gotta do something. So that's kind of what sparked it. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, my business was a side hustle for 5 years, and just had some weird interactions with my manager, questioning, when I took PTO for a speaking engagement, and she saw me posted on LinkedIn, asking a bunch of questions about what I'm doing outside of work. And my grandma was just worst case scenario, you quit and it doesn't work out. You have a degree, get another job. And she's like, you already have clients, so just go for it. So the next day, I quit.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
How about you, Jay?
So I am not in that space. I am still working. I am in school for my degree because my end goal is to do just be a licensed therapist for the most part. And so that requires me just having that experience in the work field. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
So haven't jumped off the porch yet.
I mean, it takes time to understand. So when you guys do these things, how hard is it to balance out, your personal life and your work life?
I interviewed someone on the Black Women in Biz podcast. Her name is Jennifer Walton. She co-owns Ground and Grind, which is a co-working space on the east side, and she's also the CEO of Sky Now Consulting. And she talked about on the podcast about having a work-life harmony, not necessarily a work-life balance. And so how can we manage our time so that everything is like working and like as a synchronized situation? Sometimes your kids will require more of your time. Sometimes it's your business. But as long as, you know, we're finding a way to make things work in harmony is really the goal. And that really resonated with me because, I mean, it's like impossible, at least in my experience, to have work-life balance. Sometimes work takes, you know, more time. And then sometimes I might have to pull back on work because my kid has a dance class or something that I have to be a part of or something going on at school. So I feel like for me, I'm still working on it. But one thing we were talking about earlier, so my husband has my work calendar on his phone so that we're both aware of like what's going on so that we can pick up the pieces when the other person needs, you know, more help during a busy season.
I like that.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Note that down. Now, so, you know, you spoke about having children. Does anybody else have children?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's okay. Don't.
I know.
Do not rush. Do not. Please. You are fine. Trust me. 'Cause listen, that's all it is a bill. What you pay? I don't want to be in your business. Rent probably cheap right now.
Yeah.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
Peaceful at home.
Are you gonna buy like
Get up
A
and go.
refrigerator full of food.
Get up and go.
Yeah, get up and go as you please.
Yeah,
Ain't gotta go to the
exactly.
no doctor's appointments. Girl, keep that. Keep that life. 'Cause listen, I love them, but keep it. But you know that you guys have kids. So how do you balance being a parent also as well as also being a business owner? Because I know for me, I have a lot of kids, and I say that a lot because I love my kids, but I got a lot of them. So I have to, you know, my son plays basketball. My daughter wants to run track now. You know, my other daughter wants to be a TikTok creator. You know, I got to go to. I pick kids up from school, but I also have business I have to finish at the end of the day. So I know it's hard for me to balance because, you know, first of all, my attention span is not always there. But I know, like, as a business, every day you have a schedule. So how hard is it, or how easy is it for you to balance out that parenting business role?
Every Sundays, with me, we have like a little calendar, and we write everything by the days of the week, what we have to do. Like my daughter, she just recently got out of dance. They had a big production for her school, and they were making them kids practice to like 10 p.m. at night. So between the hours that, you know, she has to do dance and stuff, me and my son, we would go, he played golf and basketball. So it's certain days of the week, like when they want to do certain things, I had to fit everything into that schedule. And what helps me is having that calendar. And it's not easy at all. Like, it's hard at times, but I feel like whatever helps you like develop something to where y'all can have a set in stone schedule. If you know, like, prior the upcoming week what you got to do with your kids, it's a lot easier than to just be everywhere like, oh, you got to do this that day or that day. Like, we'll know by the schedule that's on the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, same. Just having the calendar and trying to keep track of everything. But I've been trying to stop having so much mom guilt when there are things that need to happen that I just can't do. Like the past couple weeks, you know, the school told us about like 2 evening things like 2 weeks before they happen. And I already had work things scheduled. And so I was just honest with my oldest and told her, like, I have to work. And my husband works second shift, and her dad lives in Dayton. And so pretty much if there's things that happen in the evening, it's on me to figure out a babysitter or something like that. And I just couldn't make it happen. And I felt guilty about it. but also remembered that, you know, I'm the one that takes her to basketball, to Girl Scout. She's a part of Brown Girls mentoring. So I can't do everything. And I'm honest with her that I'm human and I'm one person and I cannot be in two places at once. So it's a lot of open conversations, not even just with my husband, but also with Tegan, because she's 8 now. She can understand I have work and things to do. Does she
understand that like Girl Scout cookies used to be like $2 back in the day?
It was $5 when we started. Now it's $6 now. So, but yeah, I mean, just being real with her, and letting her know that I can't do it all, but I'll do what I can, and trying to not feel guilty that I can't do everything. It's just impossible.
Just kind of piggyback off of her, I think we just kind of gotta give ourselves some grace as being mothers. You know, because there are some of us that are doing it by ourselves. Not everybody has a husband or a partner. Like me, I'm single. So I gotta know that sometimes, you know, I gotta give myself grace. Because I can't. It's only one of me, and I can't be a million different places at one time. And gratefully that my kids are older now, it's a lot easier for me to be able to maneuver. Like my youngest is 13.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I only have 2 kids left in the house, 13 and 16. So it's a lot more easier for me to maneuver. So right now, my main focus is the business, because that's how we eat.
Right.
If I don't work, if I don't schedule rides, if I'm not out there driving, where the food coming from? Where the light bill? Where all that stuff coming from? So I will say I like your idea with the scheduling time, because if it doesn't exist on my calendar, it doesn't exist to me in real life. And I think that I need to just start scheduling more time to sit down and be able to talk and do those motherly things. And with my kids, I drive them everywhere they need to go. But I know I am lacking in some areas as far as like just being present. You know, they need to see me, you know, more.
I mean, and I agree with you on that. Because I feel the same way. But I think one of the things that somebody told me was that the fact that you're taking accountability is the first step. But also, you know, our kids got to also understand something here. And I ain't trying to be rude, but you want all these things.
No, for real.
Money don't grow on trees, and my last name is not Rockefeller. Come on. So, you know, you got to understand. And there's a difference where, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you got to tell your kids, you know, you're going to be an adult too. So would you rather see me work and be a parent, or me just work and not be a parent, or me be a parent and not work? Like, which one would you rather have? Because it's never going, and like we've all seen this, we've all had parents, you know, it's never going to go the way we really want to, but it always has to go the way it has to go. And that's how I'd like to tell my daughters, and I tell them all the time, you know, and that's why I make sure, like, if there's a practice, I'll sneak in a practice, but I'm leaving because I got to do something. But you know, but I will be there. Now I might complain because y'all got me here on all these hours and nights. I'm running all over Columbus, but I'm there though.
Right.
So would you rather me be there, or would you know? So I really feel what you're saying.
And I think that when you take your children with you, so they could actually see. There was times that I had to take my kids with me so they'll be able to see exactly what I do. And then, like, you know, based off of that, they'll understand more and they will respect you more. Like, that's why she don't schedule certain things outside of that little calendar that we got. I even had to talk to her coach. Like, there's times that, you know, you got to leave a little bit earlier. So I think that if you take them with you when you're doing what you do, they'll have a better understanding of everything.
Yeah, I do the same. Any chance Tegan wanted to come here today, but she'd sometimes be too loud.
Friend could have came today. She could have came today.
She loves being able to come with me and see what I'm doing, or like, oh, can I get behind the scenes with your phone and like do all that stuff. So any chance that I can bring her, I will. And then, you know, some of the things that we do together that are simple is like we're really into the show Traders. So like every Thursday, it's like, okay, Traders is coming on at 9. So like we have our little, okay, it's an hour that we're gonna watch the show together. We can talk about it. She loves podcasts too. So she'll like, oh, I listened to this podcast. Like, listen to this episode. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I'll listen to it while I'm working. Then when she comes home from school, we'll talk about it. So sometimes it's not like these big moments. It's just something small to still have that connection. But, you know, we got bills. So we got
Right.
Yeah. I do the scheduling, of course, but I also lean on my tribe. Help me out.
Yes.
That's been my biggest thing. And then me and my son, we also do our mommy and me dates. He's 13, so it looks different now. But we started them when he was 5, and it's always setting aside a time just for me and him, you know, like you do. So something small, whether it's we love to skate, we love to fish, we love to watch movies, we love anime, we love a lot of the same things. So I try to like make sure, okay, if I have a speaking engagement, if I have something I'm doing, leaning on my tribe, or just making sure, hey, we can do this at this day or something like that. So, and it's been helpful.
That's what's up. I'm gonna put that now. Some notes for me. Asani, let me ask you this question. When it comes to, you know, because you don't really have kids, I'm going to,
Yeah.
you know, on the shift. So for instance, so like, my work identity, like when I worked in the call center, hey, I'm here. Mr. Well, you're like, hey, you want me to go home? you know what I'm saying? But now that, you know, that I run a business, it's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on it.
Yeah.
So, like, what was yours? What?
My work identity, working for somebody else, I was definitely like careless and stuff. Like, I wasn't really on time. Like, I didn't really care about the work I was doing. I wasn't really fulfilled. Definitely had a little bit of laziness to me, but now, like, it's like, I'm on time, I'm professional, I'm like getting things done in the span of like 24 to 48 hours, getting those emails sent. So I'm definitely more professional and more caring and more passionate, and a little more logical.
Okay.
Before it wasn't like that. So I think it definitely changed and did like a whole 360, honestly.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Does anybody, and everybody went to college in here, correct? Everybody, or going to college. Are you doing, or any trade school, any any class, are you doing what you wanted to do originally, or are you doing what you graduated your degree with?
No. I graduated in 2011 for medical assisting, so absolutely not. And it was more so because, my family, everybody does something in the medical field.
Okay.
And they like, I honestly don't like plan Bs for real. Like, I feel like whatever you want to do, I just feel like you may have to reroute some things to get to where you originally want to go. There's no plan Bs. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But when you got, your parents or just your family in your ear, like saying, well, just in case, or do this or that, when you're young, it kind of takes you off focus from what you originally wanted to do. But if I could do it all over again, I would have never went to college. It was a waste of time. When I got out of it 2 years ago, I just now got done paying off my financial aid. So
You paid it back?
I had to.
Get it back in blood. Put it on my casket. You're not getting it back. I'm sorry. You should have never gave it to. That's how my thought process
who gives
was.
an 18-year-old that much
Who
money?
gives an 18?
Why would
You're
you
lucky
do
I
that?
finished and did it for the right reasons. To be honest with you.
That's America for you. Like, to me, college is a scam.
Yes.
Yeah, like most places in the world, some places in
education?
the world, other countries, you get your education for free.
Kristen, you came from the medical field, working in the hospital,
Correct.
and now you do rideshare.
Yes.
What was the change?
So, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Both of my parents are entrepreneurs. My mom's a cosmetologist. She has her own beauty salon. My dad is a painter, so he does commercial and residential painting. He has a crew of people he manages. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I thought that I was going to work at a hospital the rest of my life. Like, I loved it. I did. And my changing point was when, so I was in management. I was a lead. And I had interviewed because my supervisor had moved to Florida. And I had interviewed for her job, rightfully so, because she was my supervisor. We was in the office together. I trained her.
Right.
And interviewed very well. They hired a Caucasian woman for the job. Cool. But then they wanted me to train her.
Okay. You know how we get.
I said, oh, absolutely not.
You know how we get.
Oh, absolutely not. So I probably dealt with that for maybe a couple of months, and then I put in my notice.
I know that's right.
And then I became a full-time Uber and Lyft driver. So, yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you guys this. So when did you realize that your friends and family was not your target audience? I need everybody. I want everybody to answer this, but we're going to start with you. But when did you figure out your friends and family was not your target audience?
I realized that very quickly because I started young. Like I said, I got into the entrepreneur world when I was 20. So when I was setting up for my pop-up shops alone, that was a realization. And like even now, like when I realize, oh, like my friends and family, they don't really like my stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay.
So stuff like what though? Like
when I post since I am a content creator. When I am a content creator.
Social media.
So when I on social media, like when they don't really like my stuff, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't like for them. And then like I used to have like an e-commerce last business, and then I would set up in person. And when I was at them pop-up shops alone, nobody would come visit me. I was like, oh, okay, y'all are not my target audience. I gotta go get the people who I'm targeting. So yeah. So I realized that very quickly. Like I think entrepreneurship for me was a very lonely solo journey, especially since like not a lot of people around me were doing it. So I kind of had to like step away from everybody and like get this up and running. So yeah, I noticed it very quickly. It got really lonely very quick. So yeah.
Okay. How about you, Jay?
So when I started Ellison, I didn't look at my friends and family as my target audience because they didn't have what I needed for my nonprofit. I knew that I needed money for donations, and that's not it. Like when it comes to sharing and stuff, I didn't put much thought into that because I'm like, again, y'all not my target audience. Now when it comes to like abiding here, I have products, I have ebooks, I'm doing things. I'm like, okay, can y'all share some? Like, what's up? But it's remembering that they're not my target audience. How do I change what I'm doing? Like getting help, a mentor, something like that, because, okay, I'm putting this on my social media, thinking that, okay, this is going to reach something, but knowing that this is not my target audience, what am I doing wrong? Change it. So, but yeah, that's how I knew that they weren't my target audience, because I wasn't expecting them to be.
I feel like for me, my family was always supportive, even though they didn't quite understand like what I did at first. But when it comes to friends, I would just say I've gained a lot of really amazing new friends through entrepreneurship. I do have new friends, so it's not like I was just relying on my same friends from middle school and high school to always be supportive. Some of them were. Some of us now are, in our entrepreneur journey, so there's a better understanding of what that looks like. But I did venture out through networking and connecting with other people, because entrepreneurship can be lonely if you kind of stay in your bubble. So I, pushed myself to connect with other Black women business owners. I mean, really other entrepreneurs, period, and became a member of the Tri-Village Chamber to connect with other people that initially just started off as like networking opportunities, but kind of just organically grew into friendships. So yes, entrepreneurship can be lonely, but I think it really is important to have community, because we understand like what it's like. Whereas, there were times where business was hard and people would just say, well, just go get a job, just go get another job. It's like, I don't want to. That's why I quit the job. So, I think for me, it wasn't necessarily about recognizing that they weren't my target audience, because I agree, I don't think they ever were, right? But it was connecting with people that are, people that get it, people that can help you. And it might not be financially, it might be a connection, like, oh, I know somebody that can donate, or I know somebody that needs content for their business, or oh, I'm having an event, I need to get some wine, and can you do ride share for people that don't have cars? Like, it's about connecting with people where we can help each other. It might not always be money, it can just be pointing you in the direction to take you where you want to go.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't really say like my friends and family aren't my target audience, if that makes like sense. I have a very strong like support system, so even if they can't help me out monetarily, it might be me asking my dad like, hey, I gotta go pick somebody up. Can you get my daughter to practice today? Or can you pick up my son from work? Or, you know, things like that. So they're helping in other ways that I need, that they see fit. I will say I have a very kind of solid and strong community as far as like Facebook and social media. Even people that I think didn't rock with me. Like this business has taught me like, oh wow, like that's dope. People really do like rock with me, like, you know, because I tend to be like, I'm a good person. I don't, you know, I'm not like rude or anything to anybody. But me starting this business just shows me like people actually care. Like you said, like they might not give to me monetarily, but hey, they might refer someone. Right. Hey, somebody needs a ride. I gave them your number. Hey, this is going on with this. They're having a really hard time doing this. If you can get them from, it's always, you know, it's just the connections. And I build very strong connections and friendships being an entrepreneur. So
being with Rideshare, you ever thought about helping singers?
That's in the works.
Okay.
That's in the works.
I know. I'm just saying. I worked for Franklin County for 2 months, and I was like, it was good benefits, good money, but I couldn't. Like, I work with kids, so if you telling me I can't work with kids, I'll leave. And that's just, it is just simple like that. And I noticed one of the things that we needed, because I worked on the office of agent, one of the things that they needed was transportation and lawn care business, because you know they can't really do you know, everything else was everybody wants to help them build houses and put put your furnace in, everybody, but nobody really wants to give somebody a ride. Nobody really wants to do yard work. So, and that's like where they was really lacking at. So that's why I just asked.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say that I have a pretty solid support system. They can't always be there, but I don't take it personal, because just as well as me, they're doing their own thing business-wise and with work life too. But just building those connections, like, I just realized that strangers will really be your greatest supporters. I learned that early when I first started off doing music. And like, just like a friend referred Kristen to me, that's how we became friends. She helped me with one of my events as far as pouring wine. And, you know, she's a real good person. That's one of the people, like, anytime I see her post anything online, I'll reshare it on my story. Like, so pro black and just black businesses succeeding. So I love connecting myself with other women that are like-minded, that are, you know, out here doing things like that. And I really don't take it personal if my friends or family can't come out, because the majority of the time they always do. But it'd be way more strangers than them. But I like developing new relationships with people, especially if they're, you know, trying to do the same things that I am.
All what Nish and she said, sorry. That's one of the reasons why I started Girl Boss C-Bus, was because of community connection. You know, I collaborate with a lot of business women. I get their names out there. I share their stories. I connect them with other women, because I did realize as a young entrepreneur, oh, this is lonely. Like, this is not for the weak. Like, yeah, but that's why I do the work that I do for this. Like, there was a need for it. Now we have
I'm glad you said what you did, because we gonna have to connect.
So where can they find you at?
At girlboss.cbus on Instagram.
What's good, y'all? And we back. This 6is1ne4orUs podcast brought to you by Ari Productions. Listen, if you have an event, if you have any headshots, if you have any branding that you need for your business, Ari Productions is the person that you need to see. I'm telling you. Also, man, shout out to this nice hoodie that I got on by Divine Might and my boy Von Doom. Hit him up on Facebook at Von Doom. But now that we're back, let me ask you this question, ladies. In the economy that we're in today, and with everything going on as a woman, how do you feel about that when it comes to your business, your rights, everything that's imposed?
Well, you know, black people, we've been under attack since we were forcibly brought here. So One thing about us is that we're resilient. So we can endure. We shouldn't have to, but we can. And so I think now more than ever, we have to really be supportive of one another and uplift one another, celebrate one another. And I know, I was talking to somebody and they were saying, just talking about Black businesses, and, we've all done it where we go somewhere, have a bad experience, and it's like, see, this is why.
I don't support Black business.
But how many times have you gone to, I'm not even going to give nobody no shout out because they ain't paying for no ads, but how many times have you gone somewhere and had a bad experience, but you still went back? You still was like, okay, well, I'm going to go because this is where I go to get my X, Y, and Z. Or I really got a taste for whatever, and you still go back every single time, even though you keep having bad experiences. There's even restaurants where having a bad experience is like the experience of the whole thing. And so I really think we need to give each other grace and also allow for learning opportunities. Instead of putting somebody on blast on Facebook for how they did you wrong, maybe that's a learning opportunity to say, hey sis, love the products. It was great. However, maybe you should try X, Y, and Z. Now, they might not be receptive of that, and that's okay. And then at that point, if you don't want to, patron their business anymore, that's cool. But don't give up on each other, because we really, really need each other now, for real.
For sure.
I agree. It feels like things are just really uncertain. I know for me, like, I have really bad anxiety towards going forward in certain things within my business, because I'm just like, oh my goodness, what is going to happen tomorrow? Where am I at today? So I really agree with you when you just said, like, coming together, supporting one another, and uplifting one another is important.
Let me ask y'all this: how good is y'all's code switching?
Oh, I'm great.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you put your
I'm
code
like
switch?
a 12.
Ooh.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I went to a private Catholic university, first of all. I feel like when you're a smart kid in school, you automatically become like the token Black girl. And to be honest, at first, I thought that was a good thing for a while. But I looked around when I was in certain spaces and I'm like, why am I the only person here? It's because I was the safe Black choice to have in the room. Because I'm going to do the job and I'm funny. So, it's like, oh, Tanisha, like, she's so funny.
Except while saying your name wrong.
Tanisha. But I had to really do some self-reflection and think about, like, well, why am I the only person in the room? And how can I use the fact that I know how to navigate this space to bring other people in? So that's something that I had to take accountability for, look around the room, and bring more people with me in these spaces.
That's good.
Okay. Valencia, you do wine, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you also do. So how many events do you hold where you do wine specifically?
I plan out my events. I do them when I want to do them. It's not like they're like consistently. When I more so brew a new flavor, that's when I'll have an event that, like, there's food being catered. There's, just all sorts of things going on. But if it's like a normal little paint and sip, then, those is probably like once a month type of ordeal.
It just clicked to me. You do paint and sips because you make wine.
Yeah.
Man.
And
Girl, you are smart. 'Cause it really just clicked. Oh shit. Like, okay. It makes okay. So what made you make
the recent one that I just had, it was for Black History Month, and everyone that I have, it's always a theme to it. So the last one prior to me having this one, it was a dark paint and sip. But for the Black History Month, I wanted people to really have that creativity to where what they thought Black history meant to them, whether it's love or rather, you're reverting back to your ancestors, whatever the case may be. And it turned out real good. It was really nice. People came out from different cities. I like stuff like that because once again, your biggest supporters will be people that you don't know. So I liked it that they found it. I utilize Eventbrite a lot, and I've been having a lot of success with just promoting it on there and people coming out from Eventbrite.
Okay, that's dope. So, Jay, you have a nonprofit. With being a nonprofit, there could be a lot of ups and downs. There's nonprofit. There's no money in this, so I know sometimes getting to where you need to be and getting the resources that you need to people out could be hard. So, what makes you not give up when you're a nonprofit?
My why.
And what's your why?
My why is to really see our youth and young adults healed and restored. With child welfare, we know a lot of our children go into the foster care system due to neglect, abuse, and abandonment. Remembering that, it has nothing to do with anybody can give or not give, because this is my why, is making sure that these children, our children in our community, are healed and restored. And if that means just meeting me in what I do, whether it's mentoring, whether it's creating an event and gathering people for some funds or anything like that, I'm going to do it. So.
Okay. That's dope. Kristen, what is one of your biggest challenges that you have faced? And how long have you been in business?
It'll be 3 years in July.
3 years. Okay, Awesome, perfect. And what is one of the biggest challenges you face?
Currently, right now, drivers.
Okay.
Finding people that want to work and be consistent and want to work consistently. Now, being an entrepreneur, no one's going to work as hard in your business as you do. I know that. But I do, I do want to build a solid foundation of drivers and community. But yeah, right now what I'm facing is it's the driver aspect.
The driver aspect?
Yeah.
Okay. So like when you trying to find these drivers, like they got to be insured and stuff, right? Because I can find you some drivers, but I don't know if they're going to be insured.
Okay. So I'm going to say.
I mean, they got valid licenses.
If they say you refer them, I'm like, yeah. extra. And I background check anyway all of my employees. That's so yeah, you got to have license. You got to be insured.
Got to be insured.
You got to pass a background check and a BMV check.
Okay.
And then you just got to have a good personality. And if you don't like working with kids, this is not the job for you. If you don't like to drive, this is not the job for you. So
that's what's up. So with everything that you ladies do, being a parent, working, overtime, I've heard everybody has more than one business around here. How do y'all manage y'all stress?
Honestly, I pray. I pray, I fast. Fasting plays a big portion in my everyday life. So, I just feel like if you don't incorporate God into everything that you do, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to succeed when it comes down to just anything in life in general. I mean, to each his own, but I just found out ways that I could deal with just being overwhelmed. It was a point of time that I felt like I was everywhere. You keep mentioning wine, but that's just one thing that I do. Like I do music and I also have a clothing line. So it's a lot to take in sometimes. And when I pray, when I'm fasting, it's like everything just goes way much more smoother. And then just like you said, dealing with children and stuff, like if they are around you and they see the things that you do, they embrace it more. They don't. They just don't. I don't even know what the word is. Hopefully y'all edit this part because they understand. They just understand. Like that's why it's so important to me to keep your children close by you outside of the things that they got going on. But just pray, fast, and definitely incorporate, God and read your word along the way too. So,
anybody else?
I agree with prayer. I also set aside time for myself for self-care. It's easy for me to get stressed out. I get stressed out about the little things. So I make sure, okay, before I get stressed out, let me go ahead and color. Let me go ahead and build some Legos, or let me go to the rink and skate. And that's just how I handle my stress.
Like coloring books or? I ain't mad at it.
Yes, I
Man,
love
I thought
coloring.
you was talking about like, some people have art books and they, some people might have, the jumbo coloring book. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, I have my own coloring supplies that my kids are not allowed to touch. I also pole dance. Love it. That's my like stress reliever. I have a pole room at home.
Never would have guessed it.
Yep. And communicating. Like I communicate to, everyone in my house. If I'm overwhelmed, I'll just be like, I'm overstimulated. I need 5 minutes. I'm not always perfect at that, but I try to communicate when I feel overwhelmed. So if I'm giving attitude or if I'm snappy, then everybody kind of knows like, okay, let's give her some space.
I know that's right.
Yeah. Well, for me, definitely, God is first and foremost in my life. I was a church kid. I grew up in the church my whole life, went to a Christian school. But for me, I think having like friends that you can vent to, whether that be, because you're going to have two sets of friends. You're going to have your business friends, and then you're going to have your friends outside of business, because a lot of people working 9-to-5 jobs, they don't really understand being a business owner.
Right.
And if you have a friend that you can do all those things with, it's even better. Like I have a friend that I can go to her about business. We can have a good time. We can turn up. We can do whatever.
Go ahead and shout her out, because she's fine.
Yes, Genesis Shine. I know Culture Media. That's why she's here. She's here to support me. So I appreciate her. So just venting. I like to just venting to friends about what might have happened in my day that made me mad, or I like to sleep too.
I know that's right.
When I'm really stressed, I will just be like, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to revisit it the next day. That's my favorite. Let's revisit that tomorrow, because we ain't doing it today. So, so that's how I deal with it.
Okay.
I think vacations is important too.
Definitely.
Like somewhere down the line, you gotta throw in a little vacation to just a reset.
Because when I do this, I always look at myself and say, what's my why? How, when it comes to, this economy and things, why would I do it? And why shouldn't I be discouraged? And why? Because we do get discouraged. And how do I handle stress? But I guess how I handle it at 33 probably would have been different. So my question to you all are, what would you tell yourself? I ain't going to say 18-year-old, because we didn't know nothing at 18. And I'm not even going to say 21. 25-year-old self. What would you tell your 25-year-old self right now?
Never work harder for someone else than you do yourself.
I tell a 33-year-old that. Man, you real. That's real. That is real.
For real. Yeah.
Anybody else?
I would say just don't fear anything. Just have confidence and surround yourself with good, genuine people.
Yeah, I would say, stay focused on the goal, and stay encouraged.
I would definitely tell myself at 25, be strong and be courageous.
Awesome. So now that we got that one out the way, let me ask you this, because I know people see you. I've seen everybody's presence on IG, seen everybody's presence on Facebook. So I know people are coming up to you and saying, how can I be you? So what advice would you give to a newcomer that is trying to be, I wouldn't even say you, just trying to be an entrepreneur?
I feel like we see on social media kind of like this glamorous look of entrepreneurship that, you quit your job, you start a business, and now you have a 6-figure business and you're going on vacation and life's great. But I think that we need to just remember to be realistic when it comes to our entrepreneurial journey. I worked for 5 years between agency and corporate before I was able to build up my clients to quit my job. And then even after I quit, things didn't go as planned, and I had to do Uber Eats, and I was working in a warehouse overnight and then working on my business during the day. So if you have to work full time to fulfill your entrepreneur goals, do that. If you have to get a part-time job, do that. If you need a side hustle, do that, because nobody's going to come and help you pay your bills or feed your kids or do whatever you got to do. So you have to remember to take care of yourself And who cares how that looks to other people? Because all of our journeys are going to look different. So when you see people, doing their thing online, support them and encourage them, but also remember that you need to do it your way and take care of you too.
Okay.
I would say be a student. Always be a student. I know for me, when I first got into nonprofit, I felt like, okay, I didn't have a community either. So also have a community. I didn't have a community. A lot of people didn't know me. I was just new in church almost. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to learn YouTube, read books. And I failed like a lot. Like it was a lot. And I'm not even going to say failed. I learned a lot of lessons. Mm-hmm. I felt like with Ellison, it was that we're small, make the mistake. Make it, learn from it, and keep going. Keep moving forward. Ask for help, get a mentor, have community, and know that you're not going to know everything. And it's okay to not know everything. It's okay to say, I need help. It's okay to say, you know what, maybe I can do something else that's in this calling that God has given me, but let's go ahead and pivot. So it's okay to pivot.
For me, I think passion. Passion is key. If you start a business, you got to be in love with that business. If you're not in love with it, if you're not passionate about it, I don't think that you'll be able to grow. Like if you're just in it for the money,
right?
It's going to fail. I'm passionate because I love driving. So I'm passionate about driving. I love kids. I always wanted to work with kids. I came from Children's Hospital, so I was with kids all the time there. So I'm just passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about the people that I service. So that's like the number one thing. I think passion for me anyway.
How much is too much passion though?
I don't really know if you can be too passionate about something you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears into.
So, and I'm happy you said that because me personally, as an entrepreneur, I do get frustrated sometimes, which we all do. We're human.
Every day.
But sometimes I be getting frustrated off of the simple fact of like, hey man, like y'all see me help do this. And it don't even be about help, but like y'all see me do this. Y'all see me do this. Why are y'all acting like this? And I think that's one of my main issues when it comes to myself. And then I just be thinking like when I got to sit back and I watch myself and look in my mirror, Michael Jackson moment, man in the mirror. I look at myself and I just be like, bro, am I just too passionate or am I just the only one that's passionate? So those are the things. That's why I wanted to ask you that. Like, what, is it a such thing? But you answered my question, so I'm gonna stick to how you feel. And, it ain't nothing wrong with that.
I would say just remember it. Remember why you're doing it. Like for me, coming from a background that in customer service, jobs did help me, create like the entrepreneur skills that I have. But if you're like me, you don't want to work for somebody your whole life. So I would just give people the advice of just what are you doing it for? Like, Are you doing it for yourself? Who are you doing it for? Like, and I just feel like just go full throttle, whatever you want to do. Like she talked about passion. Like if you don't have passion about the things that you're doing, you probably won't succeed with what you're doing.
Do you guys consider yourselves a boss? Or do you consider it just like an entrepreneur? Because like a boss is just like, I just do it. But an entrepreneur is like, I started this brick by brick, foundation-wide. What do you consider yourself?
I would say an entrepreneur because I'm still growing. I'm still learning at the same time. So, yeah.
I'm going to be right down the middle with it. I think I consider myself both. I think I'm an entrepreneur, but I definitely am a boss. I employ people. I pay people. I do all those things that bosses do. So, yeah, I'm going to say, like, I'm in the middle.
Yeah, same. I agree. 50-50.
I'm a servant. That's it.
I know that's right.
That's all.
I mean, when you in nonprofits, man, you just be like, what do you do? And I tell people all the time, man, I do nonprofit work to get into heaven. Because being, I love God. I love God. I believe, I'm a believer. But it's real shaky right now. And I know there's some stuff on the edge where he gonna be like, hey, bro, you might not make it in. So, so I'm trying to, make up because I really want to make it into heaven. That's what I tell people. And that's my why. So I tell people I really want to make it into heaven, but I do good unto others. So I feel you on that. But I'm going to change this a little bit for y'all because, we got to the business and we was cool, but like, let's have some fun. So like, what is your motivational song when y'all like when you about to you got them events, anything that you about to do, anything that you about to get up, you about to write? What is your motivational song when you getting dressed, putting the makeup on? What is it?
Nipsey for me.
I knew one of them. Somebody was going to say Nipsey. I knew it.
I don't think I have a song. I'm a Barb, so I mean anything Nicki. I've been a Nicki fan since 2007, so hardcore Barb. Any Nicki song I'm with, but I just love women rap, period. So if I can just find like a women hip hop playlist, then that gets me like motivated to go out.
I feel like for me, anything Christian rap, that's my jam.
You like Christian rap?
I didn't like it at first.
You know, it's crazy because, I go to church and my pastor used to, in his former life, used to be a rapper, and I used to know all his lyrics. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because like now what we do is now that he takes over, rappers be coming on stage and they be rapping, and a lot of people really, that's their bathroom break. Like, they don't like it. And I just be like, would you like it more if it was secular, though? Because he's saying that it's over the same beats. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, but it's in a different, probably a different way they're perceiving it. They're using the same verbiage, but they're using it against the devil. Mm-hmm. So, like, what is the real issue?
Right.
So, but nobody really, has a real reason. Like, nobody has gave me a valid reason. So, like, it's crazy, like, when you say that, because I'll listen to Christian rap if it's good. Now, there's some stuff.
Now, when I first heard Christian rap, it felt too secular to me, and I'm just like, I'm trying to get away from this.
Yeah.
So I can understand why people like, can't do Christian rap. Mm-hmm. But the more that I start hearing more artists and it's like a different tone in it, I'm like, you know what? I can.
You can ride to that.
No. I'm gonna say Beyonce. I'm That Girl from the Renaissance album.
Ooh, okay. That's a good one. Yeah.
Me personally, whatever. One of my favorite songs, man. I listen to hip hop like really big, and one of my favorite songs is Jada Kiss "We Gonna Make It," and it's to the point where I love it so much, like it makes me like tear up because like at one point, like we were like when he wrote that lyrics and stuff, like he felt that. So when he says it, I feel it. So that's one of my biggest ones, and "Get Up and Get Out" by Outkast, because you need to get it. How can you make it if you never even tried? Like, things like that. You say Nipsey, probably Hustle and Motivate is probably one of yours, I'm assuming. But it's crazy. Well, Hustle and Motivate is not even mine. Mine is,
honestly, it was Ocean Views.
Ocean Views is good. But mine, this is my show, so I can cuss on here. But but Rap Nigga is one of my favorite songs, and this is because he's so real and thorough, and that's how I want to be with my business and how I want to be with other things. So with that being said, with real and thorough, let me ask you guys this. How hard is it for you to make sure that it's always business and never personal when it comes to clients?
Yeah. It can be hard. And, sometimes I do things outside of the scope at times. But as long as it doesn't become a habit, then that's cool. And I've had to have hard conversations to reel people in, like, okay, you're asking for this thing often, so we might have to change the price.
Right.
So yeah, it can be hard. I'm not going to say I never step outside of the scope, because I do, especially because I work with mostly nonprofits. So I love their missions almost as much as they do, if not the same. So it's hard to like see that there's a need and be like, well, it's outside of the scope, so I'm not doing it. Sometimes I will. Yeah.
So when you guys, so let's just say you have a family member, and that family member or a friend or, a child's father, anybody that you know, and let's just say that they want a discount. How do you guys feel about discounts?
I tell them when they go to stores, do y'all go to Kroger's and ask for a discount for wine or alcohol there? Y'all don't never say, hey, when you get to the cash register, can I get this for 20% off?
Right.
And then they don't, and I really break it down to them, and I show them everything. Like, this is how much I'm getting my grapes imported from Napa Valley. This is how much I pay for my labels. This is how much I pay for my bottles, all of that. So when you break it down, $35 is not a lot to me. Mm-mm. So, and I feel like they have a better understanding, and ever since I did that, they don't ask for cheaper prices no more.
Can you even like get a discount with a ride share?
I mean,
Right, my
well,
price
when
is
the
my
CEO
price.
is when I'm running the business
Catch the
myself,
coda.
people ask. Not really friends and family though. It's other people.
Catch the coda.
Because when you open up your Uber app, can you negotiate with the Uber app?
Right,
You
right.
can't. So why would you feel like you're gonna come to me and ask me for a discount?
Right.
And I'm really lenient anyway. Like I pretty much discount a lot compared to Uber and Lyft because they have these surcharges and they have this and your prices change.
Right.
I don't do that. Once you have a price with me, that's your price. I don't go up and down. It doesn't fluctuate with me. So.
That's what's up.
Yeah, in the beginning, I would give people discounts, but it always seems like the ones you give discounts to become the biggest headache. Versus the people that pay full price with no question are like A-plus clients. So I offer different like service packages, and if those don't fit within your budget, I do try to at least give some advice, like, okay, well, you can't, you don't have the funds to pay for this particular service that you're asking for, but here's some tips on how you can at least get started on your own until you're ready to pay for somebody. And I may like recommend a couple other people, but yeah, in the beginning, I definitely gave a lot of discounts.
Yeah. Within my coaching consulting company, I've been asked of giving discounts, but I'm always directing them to another resource in the community, like SCORE, because I did a lot of business coaching and stuff. So SCORE, or, just things that would be of a help to them that is free. Because I ain't giving a discount.
I know that's right. Last question for you all. Who's your shero?
Shero.
Who's your shero?
That's a good question.
I would say my daughter, honestly.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. And okay. So your daughter, and why?
Because she just like she's smart. She's a very smart little girl. She has her own identity for herself. She's only 16, but they growing up in a different era for real. They not growing up how we did. There's a lot of things that she talks to me about, and for her to be as young as she is and have her own mindset, like she just makes me want to, my kids just make me want to go harder at everything that I do. But she's well above her age. She's very mature. She knows what she wants already in life. So I'm just happy for her, like as a young lady, because you instill the great morals into your children, but their outcome, they can do, or whatever they want to become, they can choose to do it themselves. But she listens, right. And she's just the bomb to me. Like she does really good for herself at a young age.
She got a bomb mom now.
Thank you. So is
her
you.
personality. I mean, you will not.
This
you
my
can't
dog
meet a
right
person
here.
like this. Yeah, she's the bomb.
From day one, you saying me, but from day one when I met her, she the sweetest person I know. Like, just got a real helpful spirit. Like, you ain't even scratched the surface of what God got for you yet. Like, you real kind for real. And that day that I really needed help with because like how we talked about before, I have a problem with, delegating stuff to people. I'm trying to do it more. But when I first met her from day one, she was like, what you need? What you did? This, and that. Like, helped me so much with my event. And she's the bomb.
Thank you so much. I would have to say my grandmother, who we called Mom. Because she was just, extraordinary. So she was the type of grandparent. She worked in the hospital world, but you couldn't say shut up. You said shut up, she gonna throw her house shoe at you. Okay, she ain't playing with you. Don't put your elbows on the table while we're eating. Like, you couldn't do. She taught us just like basic things that we didn't understand being kids. But now you're an adult. Like, she was just teaching us things that now as an adult, you're like, man, I'm glad, I had somebody to learn those different things from. And she would always step in. My parents, they were workers. So she, retired. She was at home. So she was helping raise the grandkids. You know what I mean? Cooking for us, showing us how to clean up. We had to get up. We had to make our beds at a certain time. We're up at 7 o'clock. You're not laying in the bed all day. That's not what you're doing.
That's my great grand.
Yeah, she didn't play with us. So just like instilling those different values and core beliefs into us, she was a phenomenal woman. So
Perfect.
Like my three like go-tos would be my mom, my grandma, and my aunt. Me and my aunt are basically like best friends, so I can call her and talk to her about anything. And obviously seeing my mom, you know, as a single mom, do what she did for me and my sister. And my grandma, she has a 7th grade education, but she's like literally the wisest person that I know. Not to mention all of the women in business who have helped me in my business and given me advice. And my daughters have, you know, taught me a lot. I wasn't really like a super lovey-dovey person, kind of had a somewhat hard personality at times, and they definitely like softened me up a lot. So I think I'm just blessed to have a lot of different women, plus my daughters, who have really helped shape me and who I am.
My first one would be Lisa Dixon. Her compassion and grace and just love for community definitely strengthens me. I would also say my mom, her strength and just her bounce back of just life being a single mom. And then my grandmother, she's my spiritual rock. So
That's what's up.
my sheroes.
Okay, so where can we find you ladies at? So if anybody, you know, because a lot of people watch this. They do.
You on Instagram, TJECOMM, and then from there you can find all my other pages and my website and everything.
Mine is I am J Nicole Turner on Instagram, and then you can also find all my other socials through the link in my bio.
Google's good for me. I have a very good Google presence.
I know that's right.
I do. She Drives Rideshare. You can Google, or She Drives Rideshare, Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
On Instagram, it's _, V as in Victory, ALYNNCIA_. So it's Valencia or _Valencia_. My website is www.valenciarain.com. But if you type in Valencia in Google too, like you'll be able to find everything out.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap this up. It's your boy Sledge, the People Champ, checking in. This is This One For podcast. I want to thank these lovely ladies that they have, lovely, strong black ladies that we had today. At this time, we need to let everybody know, for real. Listen, man, just support, especially just support them. If you can, just support. They have everything that you need. Like I said, shout out to Byari Productions, another strong black woman that can hook you up with events, that can hook you up with headshots, any production on the marketing and with your business. That's who we are sponsored by today. And shout out to my boy Von Doom with the Divine Mic. Make sure you get this hoodie. It took him a little minute, man, because he been selling out, but I finally got it. Shout out to you, man. And we out, man. One love.